It's good to have everybody here. Nothing more special than college football than opening weekend. The students are coming back, and I hear the band playing and practicing like we are. And you know, we got a huge event planned for our fans to be able to participate with Stripe Out. I know my wife was running around emphatically making sure everybody had the right color shirt on, whether it be brown or gold, and we are going to wear our school colors really well. So big week. We are healthy, and that's encouraging. Trey Smith has returned to participate. He should be cleared. We're anticipating that. So we'll be 100% with the exception of Avante Hall. Of course, you guys known about him for quite some time. You know, as you get ready for your first game, you always worry about bumps and bruises, but I think we're on a great trajectory there. Our defensive front is very healthy, and so is our offensive front. There will be one change in the starting lineup. Eric Bougier will start at the left guard spot, but you will see Patrick Arnold play as well. And so we're certainly excited about that. I do believe we already noted that Rome Weber is going to be the starting safety. Braden Smith will play, though, quite a bit, but it's great to see Rome out there. And so, you know, our football team is excited about playing. And there comes a point where there's a confidence that a team has. As a head coach, you always look forward to how the team is going to play, and typically you're going to play how you practice, and I think we've been practicing well. Our opponent, a great deal of respect for the University of Missouri. Coach Odom has got an experienced coaching staff, and he's a great gentleman, but I personally know a lot of their head coaches, but more so reflective of their program. You know, I think they're just right on the outside of the top 25, and I can certainly understand that. You know, they led Kelly Bryant. Everybody knows about him. He had a really successful career at Clemson. They've got a returning All-American candidate at tight end. They used him well. Big, strong guy that can run really well. Got a pair of running backs, Roundtree and Brady. That's a great 1-2 punch, experienced offensive line, and a whole group of wide receivers. Many times as head coaches, we will tend to try to paint the opponents as All-Americans, but these guys are really good. And so we're going to have our hands full. Cale Garrett is a second-team All-SEC linebacker, and they've got a second-team All-SEC corner, DeMarcus AC. And so you're looking at a really experienced football team that's well coached. I think we're, for the most part, pretty experienced, and we're well coached also. And so the makings are there. It'll be a great game come Saturday night at 5:30. And this time I'll open up any questions that you might have. Yes, Robert.
Craig, with starting Eric, like I said, you'll play both Pat too, but what did you see from Eric or to make the decision to start
Right.
him?
Well, it's been a heated competition, and that's always healthy. You know, Eric has honed down his assignments. He's become much more assignment conscious. He's been able to come off the football. Patrick's done a good job also. Eric provides a big, strong presence at the guard. I mean, he's over 260 pounds, and he moves it well. And against a defensive front like this, we feel like we're going to need some guys. So he's just been playing a little bit better than Patrick, and so that's why we made that adjustment. Other questions? Yes.
You mentioned the tight end that they had. Obviously, you saw him last year. Just what is the challenge going up against a guy with that kind of skill set, that kind of size?
Well, and there lies a problem. You got a guy that's 6'5". I think he's almost 255 pounds. He runs really well. And anytime you have that type of presence, and then his ability to catch the football and make plays after the catch, and he's an imposing figure, and they do a great job. Sometimes teams don't have tight ends in their program. They do, and they utilize him well. He can stretch the field vertically. He can make plays once he catches the football, and he's a capable blocker. Yes.
How much do you expect to have these veteran corners you guys have help out a young defensive line to get more of a pass rush? And I guess how underrated is that to have two returning corners?
Well, I think it's really important. And going into this game last year, we were in a different place, and so you know, there's going to be times that those guys are going to be taxed. And last year we were kind of reversed. We had some experienced safeties, experienced front, and we were very inexperienced at the corners. Now, we won't change dramatically our scheme, but certainly we're going to leverage their experience. And for us to really play well, those corners are going to need to play well also. Yeah.
You mentioned having Trey Smith back. I know he missed obviously the time of the concussion. Do you feel pretty confident that with the reps he'll get this week in practice that he'll be ready, ready to contribute
Yeah,
significantly
you know,
on Saturday?
How much is it gonna be dependent, he's gonna return to practice today, and today's a non-contact day, and so how much of that's gonna be contingent, Robert, on how he goes back in and picks up a lot of his assignments. He'll return to full contact tomorrow if he progresses through the protocol, and the better he does, the more confident we're gonna have. Titus Swain has really played well, and you will see him play in the ballgame as well.
Just to follow up with, you said, is Solomon Bird back from that ankle?
Yes.
So he's ready?
Keon as well.
He's back. I always say this, game week, they all go see the Wizards. Somehow everybody gets better, and they're all back. Yes.
You got a team coming out here that's obviously never played at this elevation. I know guys will do a ton of tempo stuff, but do you look at that to maybe use that?
Well, they're a tempo team,
Yeah.
and so we're gonna do what we do. We have, a 2-minute stuff in our offense, but that's not been our mindset. And, I can understand that. You get the elevation and tempo. What we are striving to do is make sure we're staying on the field offensively and get some 3-and-outs on defense so we can wear their defense down. Yes.
Just your thoughts on your team captains, 4 seniors, a couple guys from Wyoming, a redshirt freshman quarterback. I mean, just your thoughts of what you really like about those guys and what in your mind makes them good leaders for this team.
Well, first of all, I think you noted we've got a couple guys from Wyoming as team captains, and that says a lot. I don't know if that was always maybe Wyoming players were thought of in that light, but to have 2 guys, particularly from Natrona County, I think it's a great compliment to Coach Harshman and Natrona County to have 2 guys from his school that are going to be captains, and those guys are recognized and elected by their peers. Also, I think it's unique to have a redshirt freshman quarterback, that has garnered that much respect, and a lot of that is earned, even though he just started a couple games last year. He did start, but his whole makeup on how he's handled the offseason and everything else, people believe in him, and I think when you have a quarterback that's got that kind of leadership skills, people want to follow him. And also to have Austin Conway, a skilled player that's been around a while, Josiah Hall, we're really excited about those guys. And any time for me through the years when you've had good leadership, particularly at the captain position, you got a chance to be pretty good, and that's going to be important for those guys to lead this football team, and we feel very good about them. I feel personally very good about those guys.
Craig, following your years of coaching, whether it's been assistant or head coach, have you ever had a redshirt freshman as a captain?
No, but what's unique is he played last year, and so I think it's a unique situation, but no, I haven't. I mean, the most we've had is a 3-year captain. I think Logan and Marcus were 3-year captains, but if Sean would not have played, I doubt that he would have garnered this much the voting, but he played last year and played well. Yes.
Do you know which of your true freshmen other than Titus and Trayton that you'll be playing more than the 4 games going into the season?
I would say right now Titus is probably going to be the guy that's going to play the most. Yep.
Craig, you kind of mentioned with Bryant at quarterback now, I mean, you could go back and look at Clemson tape, but is it kind of hard to really kind of expect what you might see from them just because it's not Clemson, it's Missouri?
No.
Has that been a challenge?
Well, it certainly is, but they're not going to change drastically outside of their framework. At least we're not anticipating that. And they were very productive last year offensively. I'm sure one of the reasons why Kelly Bryant chose to go to the University of Missouri was they highlight their quarterback in a fashion that Drew Lock was a first-round pick by the Broncos, and so it's an explosive offense. He's an explosive player. We've combed through all the stuff that he did, obviously, at Clemson, and we've tried to assimilate that into what they do. And I think we got a game plan that's going to reflect that. But nonetheless, there's probably going to be some surprises. Anytime you go into the first game, there's always some surprises as well, though. I think there was another question. Yes.
When they lose a guy like Drew Lock, I know there's a consensus that Kelly Bryant's not as good as a passer. I guess what you guys have seen on film. What do you think of his?
Well, I disagree with that. If you look at his numbers, I think he threw the ball either 63 or 65% at Clemson. He's got a strong arm, and they've got a very capable passing tree. And so we're going to need to prepare ourselves to get ready for a great quarterback. Yes.
Coach, how do you feel about up the middle of your defense? You always talk about it, and you have since you got here, about being strong up the middle, but with, maybe some less experience at free safety. How do you, and some of the guys that haven't quite played as much on the interior D-line?
Well, that's a really perceptive question. Where we're gonna hang our hat is, first of all, you got, Cash and Logan, and a couple of the guys have played in the defensive front, and Elijah Halliburton has played. However, we're not as experienced there, and going against a really capable SEC offense in the first game is gonna pose a challenge. We do feel like the guys have practiced well. We put them under duress, and we're doing everything we can to make sure we're ready to go, and we have a great deal of confidence in our defense up the middle.
It might be way too early for this, but you would know if anybody would know. Do you see a little bit of Sean Chambers and Kelly Bryant at all?
I think they're different type of players. I can tell you this, so I think that there's a real promise with Sean. He's got to learn, and he has, but physical ability, I guess, always is an indicator of maybe how high a guy can go, but their ceiling is really gonna be determined by their character. And Sean has got great character, and he's got great leadership skills, and we're honing him to make him a better quarterback. And so I think they're different, and we ask them to do different things.
Any more questions out here? There might be a few people on the
Any
phone.
other questions from people that are listening? Okay, guys, thank you very much.